One of the things that Vladimir Putin has been successful in doing in Russia is altering their laws to allow him to keep serving, right? It's the same thing that authoritarian dictator types do in nation after nation, right? They get elected to office in their nation, and then they alter the laws to say that they can keep serving beyond the term limits that are put in place. You can only serve terms. You can only serve 3 terms. You can only serve 4 terms. Fuck that. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna make it so I can just keep serving, and I can just keep running for office, and those elections get more and more and more skewed the longer the time goes on. We told you guys that the Republicans are yearning for a dictatorship. They want to do away with the American way of life, the American way of governance, and they just want to have Trump be the dictator for life. And people kept telling us, you're insane. Even though Trump himself said, I'll be a dictator on day one. Even though Trump tried to overthrow his own government and install himself as a dictator over the will of the people. Even though all of that has happened, you're crazy. He's going to serve his 2 terms, and then that's going to be it. We're not even a week in, and we already have Republican members of Congress putting forth bills to alter the Constitution of the United States to allow Trump to run for a 3rd term. Republican floats constitutional amendment to allow Trump a 3rd term. Representative Andy Ogles of Tennessee has introduced a joint resolution in Congress seeking to amend the 22nd Amendment of the U.S. Constitution that would allow President Trump to serve a 3rd term in the White House. Newsweek reached out to Ogles' office and the Trump White House by email for comment on Thursday evening. President Donald Trump has previously joked about running for a 3rd term, something the U.S. Constitution does not allow due to the 22nd Amendment. Following his victory in the 2024 U.S. presidential election, Trump told House Republicans, quote, I suspect I won't be running again unless you say, he's so good, we've got to figure something else. The comment drew outrage from critics on Twitter. The 22nd Amendment says no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice, and no person who has held the office of president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term to which some other person was elected president shall be elected to the office of the president more than once. However, Trump previously told Time magazine he would not support changing the amendment, saying he wouldn't be in favor of a challenge. Not for me. I wouldn't be in favor of it at all. Ogles, a Middle Tennessee Republican, has proposed a change to the 22nd Amendment that would allow Trump and future presidents to serve up to 3 terms. Ogles' House Joint Resolution states, quote, no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than 3 times, nor be elected to any additional term after being elected to 2 consecutive terms, and no person who has held the office of president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term to which some other person was elected president shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. The language specifies preventing a president running for a 3rd term if they were elected for 2 consecutive terms, precluding any of President Bill Clinton, President George W. Bush, or President Barack Obama from seeking a 3rd term when the amendment to occur. The amendment would therefore singularly benefit either Trump, who was serving his 2nd of 2 non-consecutive terms, or Vice President J.D. Vance, who ranks as the 1st in the presidential line of succession. Isn't that convenient? Worded specifically so that Trump could run for a 3rd term, but Obama couldn't. Now, before anybody sees this video and freaks out, a constitutional amendment is a very difficult thing to get through. It requires passage in the House by 2/3 of the members. It requires passage in the Senate by 2/3 of the members. Neither of which are going to happen. But if by some miracle both did happen and Trump were to sign it into law, it would need to be ratified by 38 states. I don't see a constitutional amendment like this passing, but it goes to show the mentality. Right? It goes to show, you know what? We love the Constitution, but when we need it to change, fuck the Constitution. We're going to go ahead and change it. And we're going to change it so that this guy can run for a 3rd term, but other 2-term presidents can't. It's a cult.